What's going on, everyone? So Rui Hachimura has been working in the lab all offseason. The Lakers were able to keep him long term, which was great. He's one of the core pieces, one of the big acquisitions that really helped lead the Lakers to a Western Conference appearance, Western Conference Finals appearance. And I fully expect Rui Hachimura to pick up where he left off, right? He's always done really well in the playoffs. Like, if you look up his career playoff stats, the guy is just next level when you compare him to the regular season and the playoffs. But I really do believe that this year he has that potential to actually take that step and translate the playoff success into the regular season. And it's not like he's some like bum in the regular season or anything like that, right? This is a guy that is basically 13 points per game. He has a just absolutely lethal mid-range game, and a guy that can just go get buckets, right? He's a guy that you can put on the low block. You can run some pick and pops, run some pick and rolls, just give him the ball and let him go to work and make a play, put him in an isolation position. Like, all of those tools that he has is massive. Lower center of gravity. He's great defensively against bigger, stronger type players. He does struggle a bit against the more twitchier wings, and he's not really great at guarding out on the perimeter as far as quicker players, because he doesn't have the foot speed and the shifty movement. But as far as guarding most of the power forwards in this league, absolutely. And we even saw how effective he was against centers. He was great against Jokic. Not saying that I would want him to guard Jokic for an entire series or something like that, but if you end up getting switched with Rui on Jokic, like, you can trust that he's going to be able to hold his own. We saw how good he was defensively against Karl Anthony Towns. He really gave Karl Anthony Towns some struggles and some fits, and he just wasn't able to bully him and move him. Good, strong, physical, sizable forward. And this is a guy that, again, in the playoffs, is basically as good as it gets. He shoots 60% for his career in the playoffs. But for the Lakers, he shot 58.7% from two. He had an EFG of 63% and shot 50% from three-point range for the Lakers in this most recent playoff stint. For Washington, he was basically 71.3% EFG in the play. These are his playoff stats. 62.5% from 2-point range and 60% from 3-point range, which is ridiculous. He has career stats of basically 60% from 2-point range, 51%, 52% from 3-point range, and a 65.2% EFG. This guy is ridiculous and efficient in the playoffs. Can that translate to the regular season? I'm not saying that he's going to shoot 60% from the field and 50% from three in the regular season, but can he be, 50% from two and 38% from three? I think that that's something that is very possible and very likely. We saw how much cleaner his shot was once he started working with Phil Handy. You got to remember, this is a guy that we traded for, had a lot of hype and excitement, and he completely fell out of the rotation, worked hard, was working with Phil Handy, and Rui even credited him getting benched and kind of falling out of the rotation as motivation, and he was thankful that Darvin Ham allowed him back into the rotation once he saw, he's doing the things that we needed him to do, right? Because he struggled pretty mightily for the Lakers when we first got him, and then really kind of closed out strong on the season, and then really elevated come playoff time. He was just massive for us in those series. And so he's a guy that, with the continued work of Phil Handy, a guy that isn't, unwilling to put in the time, the effort, the energy, right? Like, that was a big thing with Cam Reddish, right? Cam Reddish has a ton of upside, a ton of potential, still extremely young, a guy that many people believe could be that next top 3-and-D wing in this league. Top 10 pick, everything. Problem is, in questions with him dating back to Duke, is his work ethic. Is he willing to put in the work? Is he willing to put in the time? Now, opportunity is also a big thing. Cam Reddish hasn't really been in the best situations and hasn't really had the best opportunity. And Rui is kind of in the same boat, right? Rui is a guy that I think, given the right opportunity, I think he could be easily a 20-point-a-game guy. He averages 13 And he's always been like another fixture, right? Like he's just been another piece. And he's still, because of how efficient and effective he is. I think Rui off the bench as the primary scorer would be huge. And I wouldn't be shocked if he won Sixth Man of the Year. Like, genuinely. Now, I know there is a real argument for him in the starting unit, and there is a real argument for him just to kind of play in that role. But I think continuity-wise, I think you keep D'Lo, you keep Reeves, you keep Vando, you keep LeBron, you keep AD. We know that works. We saw it work. It was super effective, super efficient. And I think you leave that because also Rui, again, he's not best defending the 3 position. He's best defending the 4 position. But LeBron at this stage is best at the 4 position. So I just think Rui being that primary guy off the bench, that first guy off the bench that comes in, steps in, and is the primary scorer, I think that that's where he can really shine, and that's where I think he can be really effective. But he has to be put in the position and given that opportunity, right? Run some sets for him. Run your offense through him. I'm not saying you have to do it every single possession that he's on the court. I'm not saying you have to do it all game long, but he's a guy that can score in so many ways, that you can run so many different sets and so many different looks. Utilize that. Use his strength. Use his advantages, right? Use his ability to shoot off the dribble. Use his ability to post up and get strong. Use his ability to blow by the defender and get to the basket and finish through contact. We saw all of these things. Rui isn't a stand in the corner and just shoot 5 threes a game type guy, right? That's not his game. He's shown that he can do that to an extent, but that's if all we're doing is just turning him into, basically a spot up 3-point shooter all game. You're not utilizing Rui to the best strengths and advantages that you have. This guy is an absolute mismatch. Everybody his size is not strong enough to bump him off of his spots. We've seen that. And everyone smaller than him is just going to get manhandled. And everyone bigger than him, we've seen him be able to blow by and just finish through, and it's not a problem. Might as well not even be there. The guy is just A1 when it comes to just being able to put the ball in the hoop. Utilize that. Put him in a position. Like Austin Reeves was able to have that emergence and was able to really just blossom into the guy that we know and love today because he was given the opportunity. Yes, there were circumstances that happened, right? All the injuries that really allowed Austin Reeves to step in and shine. And you got to credit Austin Reeves for actually, taking advantage of that opportunity and showing like, no, I'm him. Like I can do this. Like, let's go, right? Because we've seen guys get the opportunity and fail to capitalize on it. I don't think that is Rui. I truly believe if you give Rui the proper tools, the proper opportunity, and put him in the proper position and sets, he can elevate to that level. And Rui is very likely going to be the LeBron James replacement in the foreseeable future. Now, maybe we get another star or something like that at some point. We'll see. But more likely than not, that star isn't going to be a power forward. It's either going to be a small forward or like a shooting guard or something like that, right? Like, I guess if we get Giannis, then that would be that. But, how realistic is that? Time will tell. But if we end up getting somebody else, insert your favorite player you want to see on the Lakers. Once LeBron leaves, more likely than not, it's probably going to be somebody that plays the 3 or the 2 or is at least capable of doing it to where you can have Rui stay at the 4. And so why wouldn't you want to put Rui now in the position to get comfortable, to have that success, to be able to at any moment step in and take over games and be the guy that you hope that he is post LeBron James? Because if you spend these years just kind of having him be a spot-up guy the whole time and he adjusts and molds his game to that to better compensate so he can stay on the court and have the playing time and all that stuff, and then LeBron leaves and now you ask him to basically go back to the guy that he always was, and you need him to elevate and be this like 25 point a game guy and whatnot, it makes things a lot more challenging. Right now, he's got to again readjust his game. He's working on his 3-point shot, which he needed to do anyway. It's something that needs to work. But even if he is 30% from three, I hope they don't just turn him into just strictly a spot-up 3-point shooter. I really do. I believe Rui is easily a 20-point-a-game guy. And he doesn't need a ton of shots because he is so efficient, because he is so effective, right? This isn't a guy that needs 20 shots to go get you 20 points, right? Like, this is a guy that is able to get to the foul line, finish through contact, do all of those things. This is a guy that's only averaged 10 field goal attempts per game. And he's averaged 13 points in that. So he basically needs like 13 to 15 field goal attempts per game to go get you 20 points. And he shoots 50% from the field. So again, there you go. Right? Like, it's just, you add in a couple threes, you add in a couple free throws, boom, all of a sudden he's 20 to 23 points per game on like 15 attempts. You can get him 15 shot attempts. And especially if he's the primary offensive threat off the bench. If he's the primary guy that's coming in, that's like, hey, you get in there and you just go get buckets. We want you to be the bucket getter. I think he could win Sixth Man of the Year this year. I don't think that that's unrealistic at all. And I think he could be a big reason why we have success this season. It's all about the opportunity. It's all about putting him in position to succeed. The Lakers traded for him because they believed in that opportunity, because they believed, or they wanted to give him that opportunity, and they believed that he had the tools and ability to have that success. So you need to put him in a position now, because I don't want to see him just be standing in the corner, completely out of plays, just waiting for, LeBron or Reeves or D'Lo or somebody to just kick it out to him. And that's all he is. No, run some sets for him. Run some pick and pops. Run some pick and rolls. Put him on the block. Dump it down to him. Let him go to work. Right? Like, run your offense through him. Especially when you're stagnant. There were so many times last year, the offense was so stagnant where we'd have like 3-minute stretches, 4-minute stretches where like we couldn't buy a bucket. And it's like, Rui's out there on the court. Give him the ball. Why is he just standing at the top of the key waiting for a 3-point shot? When you have a guy that shoots 50% from 2-point range, it is big enough and strong enough to at least create and draw contact. Get to the foul line, knock down his free throws. Even in the playoffs, that was happening. It was just driving me crazy. I was like, come on, dude, run some plays for this guy. Put him in a position to have some success. If they do that, I'm telling you, I believe that he can be that guy. I really do. And, maybe I'll have egg on my face if that happens, if he gets the opportunity and he just isn't able to live up to it. But the only way you're going to know is if you give him that opportunity. I'm not saying he has to take 25 points a game and has to be the number one option. I'm not saying anything like that. I like him coming off the bench because that would allow him to be the number one scoring option off the bench. Put him in that position. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. How do you feel? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you think Rui can have a breakout? Do you think that they need to give him more opportunity? Do you think, no, he had enough opportunity? How do you feel? Whatever thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments.